Hey, it's Shane of Straight Arrow Adventures. You might have seen that we've already gone out and shot the bow a bit today, and I wanted to talk to you guys about some things having to do with archery and hunting. But more specifically towards hunting, I guess today would be. First of all, season's on its way. It's kind of always on its way. Unless you're in season, season's on its way. And I'm always looking at what I need to do to prep for the coming season. So, first thing you should be doing, depending on your hunting, if you're doing whitetail hunting or if you're going pig hunting, fitness isn't as important. If you're Western hunting, fitness, and I'm not talking about fitting these cookies in my mouth. I'm talking about getting in shape. It's going to be important. You don't have to be able to run a marathon, but you got to be able to hike at altitude with weight on your back and be able to move around. You got to be a bit mobile. And so something about that, shooting, one of my tips is shoot winded. I mean out of breath. Shoot winded. If it's taking a jog, hit a couple sprints, hit some push-ups, do something to get your blood pumping a bit, because that's going to be a normal state when you're hunting. And it might be that you are nervous because the animal's there and you haven't seen one in a bit and, I gotta be ready. And so you're nervous. Might be that. It might be that you're winded because you've been exercising. You've been exerting yourself and you got to be able to shoot when you're tired. And along with that, in your practice, shoot tired, shoot sitting down, shoot standing up, shoot on your knees, shoot in a chair. It's almost like a Dr. Seuss riddle. I would shoot in a house. I would shoot on a mouse, whatever. Just shoot in a lot of different positions. At angles, up, down. Reverse it. But shoot a lot of different situations, because hunting isn't going to be just one situation. I've shot standing on the ladder going up to my tree stand because situation called for it. I've shot sitting down. I've shot on my knees from a stalk and, crawling on my belly, get out there, pop up on my knees, draw and shoot. All of those things, and we have to be able to do those. So your preseason prep should include those different things. Another thing I would say is shoot all the time. You should be shooting thousands of arrows before season comes to get that muscle memory, to get used to shooting. Now with that, I'm gonna shoot a lot early, and then I'm gonna taper off towards season. When it's about 2-3 weeks, I don't shoot nearly as much. I'll go out and shoot 3 arrows. But I'm shooting 3 arrows that gotta be on. They've gotta be on the money. So I kind of run it that way and prep my body and my mind for shooting when it matters, and for just knowing this is what I do. I don't even have to think about drawing. It just happens. And then make sure, and I'm going to assume that your bow is properly tuned and that, you're doing the things with your equipment that you need to do. And if you're wondering what that is, drop a comment, and I'll talk about that. But shoot with your field tips, and then 3 weeks before season, break out the broadheads. Now, I don't care if you're shooting mechanical or fixed. I'm not gatekeeping. I've killed deer with both. What I would say is, whatever it is that you're shooting, have confidence in it. Practice with it a lot. There's nothing worse than getting out there and you're about to release that arrow, but you're not sure. Even if you do everything right, you're not sure it's going to go where it should. Nothing worse than that doubt creeping into your head when you're about to land one. It's scary. So make sure that you're shooting broadheads that you feel confident in, that you've practiced with, and that you're ready to go. Now, on the broadheads, make sure you're shooting on a broadhead target, okay? There's nothing worse than chewing up your target with a broadhead and then, you're out. So anyway, tune with your field tips, shoot, and then close to season, shoot with your broadheads, and you're going to probably have to retune even when they say shoots just like a field tip. Retune your bow. Make sure that it's shooting right again, just so that you're confident, because our confidence is going to be huge. On that, something that we sometimes will fight with, and it's almost like Voldemort, don't say it. Target panic. It happens. When it does, my steps that I use to try and get away from that target panic, or the yips, I shoot at other stuff. I don't shoot at a target or circles or anything like it. I'll shoot at a plate or a empty water bottle, a balloon that I blow up and stick on the target, whatever. I'll shoot at other things that just get me to focus on where I want to send that arrow. And I just see where I want that arrow to go. And then when I release it, generally speaking, that will help with target panic, is just switching from a target. You're not going to shoot at a target when you're in the field anyway. You're going to be shooting at, that spot directly above the knee right there, things like that. You're going to be thinking about where on the animal you need to shoot. And you might be in the habit that I have of whenever you look at an animal, you look at where you'd be putting an arrow through it. Well, yeah, the zoo is an interesting adventure when I'm looking at that and the rest of my family is not. But anyway, I don't tell them. I just keep that quiet. But tune with your broadheads and then again, shoot and be confident in it. Something that I'll use is I'll get a 6-inch plate, one of those smaller ones, the flat surface. I make sure that I can put all of my arrows in that flat surface. Now, what distance? The distance is up to you. If you're confident at shooting 60 yards, shoot at 60 yards, practice at 60 yards. And at 60 yards, you got to be able to put all your arrows in the flat part of that 6-inch plate. If you can only do that at 40, shoot at 40. There's nothing wrong with it. I've known many people that will only shoot out to 40 yards, and they'll pull up their rangefinder, and I'm looking at it going, you can hit that. They're not confident in shooting out past 40? Okay. But repetition's the only way you're going to know what you're confident shooting at. So again, shoot. All different yards, all different yardage. Shoot. 20, 10. I have a 20-yard pin. I have to shoot at 10. I got to shoot at 5 because you never know when it's going to happen where that deer walks right in and you're going, oh my goodness. And you got to adjust a little bit. So you need to know where to put that pin when it's a really short shot. And I've had a buck walk in 7 yards and it just stepped out and I was like, oh, okay. You got to be ready. You got to be ready because you just don't know what's going to happen in a season. And that's what I love about it. Like, hunting season is great because it's the unknown. You don't know where they're going to come from, when they're going to come, everything else. Do you try and plan? Of course. But you can't be sure because there are going to be things that you don't plan for, and that's what makes it beautiful. And I love the sunrises and the sunsets out in the woods. Oh, they're what keeps me going. Have I ever gone... I've gone years without shooting an arrow in anger is what I say, but not anger, but just... I've had years where I didn't release an arrow. It happens. Sometimes you'll have 6 opportunities, sometimes you won't have any. And so we cherish those opportunities that we get. If you're new to archery and archery hunting, I would say just go and don't judge your season by how big a whatever it is that you shoot. I will kill a doe and eat a doe and it tastes fantastic. Really, when you're archery hunting, man, it is such a feat to get in on an animal that no matter what, your archery hunt led to an animal, that's success. So I would say that you've got some things to do. You've got some fitness to continue. You've got some shooting to do. Shoot. Oh, I didn't touch on clothes. Shoot in the clothes that you're going to wear. Okay, I've gotten out there and I had a leafy suit that I had to trim leaves off because the way that I shot, the cables would clip it with this bow that I had. Make sure that you know the clothing that you're going to wear. If you're wearing a hat out to hunt, wear that hat when you shoot. And if it's just a ball cap, well, then you can put on any ball cap and that's okay. I don't like to wear my hunting clothes anywhere other than the field. I don't wear them into Wally World or anything else because I don't want to get scent on them. So I'm very particular with that. So I will only wear my hunting clothes when I'm hunting. If it's, a jacket, I practice with it to make sure that it's good. And then I, clean it up and store it. Make sure that you've practiced in those hunting clothes because it can get funky where the collar's just away and it pulls at your face. And so now you're thinking about that thing pulling at your face when you're at full draw. That's not a good place you want to be. You want to be able to be just nowhere but that human being holding that arrow back, holding their bow, focusing on a target, ready to release it. You want to be able to just get down to that one singular thing. Not, oh, that thing's hurting my neck or anything else. Let all that wash away. Easier said than done, I'm aware. But I hope these tips helped. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Otherwise, best of luck on your adventures. I'll check back in a few times through the summer just to make sure that we're in the right direction. And we'll see you out there. Enjoy your journey.